Go.
Good morning, my name is Stephen Powell. My presentation today is Professional Practice and Employability module, and I'll be looking at an introduction to engineering communication. Research has identified one of the most important skills for students and graduates is the effective communication and articulation of their knowledge and subject area. The use of professional communication is used for engaging external partners, employment, employees, further study, research, or any partnership project. The effective articulation enables the engineer to communicate across a variety of business sectors and through different layers of those business sectors. And he needs to address, or they need to address, the terminology used within those different levels. Engineers need to understand the knowledge, the terminology, and the language of engineering to enable communication. Building the core skills. Effective communication via presentation or discussion with an engineer requires specific skill set that's specific to engineers. And where do we get these skills from? We look at certain areas within our degree and additional skills. And there are things like practical experience, the knowledge gained, evaluation skills, external input, professional bodies, workshops, masterclasses, and continual professional development. We also need to develop our knowledge of the subject area and for articulation. And this comes from things like action learning, which is practical learning, design and development processes, the tools we use within engineering, technical knowledge from our engineering studies, live project exposure, that's work experience, year out in industry and so on, research projects that we may be involved in, and then the development of a big picture, which is the explanation that we use in engineering projects. The big picture, the big picture is the documents that we usually present to our client or customer, explaining where we are in the project or the final handover of the project. It's the documentation and the information that we present. Research by the engineering design professions have identified that when presenting this information to clients and customers, there are two main areas of questioning, and they're based around the how and the why. How did you make these decisions, and why did you make these decisions? Or how did you arrive at these decisions? And for that, we've developed another tool which is called the journey story, and that's the story of how we got there, why we made those decisions, and how we arrived at our final solutions, engineering solutions. Sorry. How do we build the big picture and the journey story? We pull on the information that we have within any engineering project. Luckily for us, there is multi-layers of knowledge within engineering projects, and we select whichever layers we need, and we synthesize those into our presentations. And we can pull on all kinds of areas of the project for the presentation. I've just listed a few here: the product development process, the process we use for developing products within engineering, computer modeling, customer interaction, that's focus group meetings, think tanks, prototyping, testing and evaluation, data and statistics. All of those contribute to the journey story. During building the big picture and the journey story, we have to be constantly aware of transferability today. In the global market for engineering, our information needs to travel, it needs to be roadworthy, and it needs to be communicated across a number of barriers. That's physical barriers and media barriers. So we need to be aware of things like the different platforms that we use in, different media applications, and we need to get the message across clear and concisely through all those transferable options. And finally, the engagement and interaction section of engineering communication has come from the International Entrepreneur Education Program, the IEEP, which is a government-funded project, which is based in all universities, it's pushed out to all universities, sorry, and that is to develop critical elements of engineering disciplines. So they've identified key skills that all graduates need. And I've pulled out 4 here, which represents the areas we've covered. In-depth understanding of engineering decisions and the route taken, the journey story, The skills and knowledge to discuss and defend engineering decisions, that's the big picture. Managing and balancing expectations, that's teamwork and communication, and open and accessible to other people's opinions and options. Thank you, that's the end of the presentation. Any questions?